Blessings! We, Biblical Awareness, want to welcome you. Yes, you who is watching now. For more updates, subscribe to this YouTube channel and of course, like, follow, and share our Facebook page. Sit back and relax as the message will begin in a few seconds. Good day, hello! Okay, after learning about the faithfulness of Hannah, the courage of Esther, now we will go and jump into the New Testament for a character that is known to all. Okay, it is for one reason. Jesus stated it as well. Okay, she is Mary of Bethany, the sister of Lazarus, the one whom Jesus raised from the dead, after being 4 days in the tomb. Okay, now, okay, before I forget, she is also the lady who is known for the fact that she listened to Jesus instead of being worried about something to feed the disciples and Jesus himself. Okay, but in this part, Matthew 26, we will find something more. By the way, because of that, our title is Devoted Mary. That is how she was described. Okay, but still, there were other ladies in the circle of Jesus Christ's disciples that are serving him in so many ways. We cannot take them out for granted. They are still doing something well. Okay, now, let's read the passage first before we go to the points. And first, of course, I will need to fix the background before we go to the main passage from verse 6 to 13. Matthew 26, verse 6 to 13. Okay, here we go. Matthew 26, verse 1, it's entitled The Plot to Kill Jesus. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, okay, Jesus was done teaching, preaching, parables like that, etc. Okay, and then now he had his disciples. Okay, verse 2. You know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Well, this is never a coincidence, because verse 3 will tell us that then assembled together the chief priests, the scribes, the elders of the people, unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. High priest Caiaphas. And what are they doing there? And consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. Something like that. Surprise attack. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar or chaos among the people. This is the background. So just picture the sadness of Jesus Christ here, that he is near to the end of his mission of being crucified. Of course, he will be resurrected after 3 days, but as a fully human, it is understood that he felt the pain. Okay, now, this will be in contrast with verse 6 to 13. By the way, I'll close this down and show you the first point that we will see. Okay, the first point that we will see is that Mary of Bethany has direction. Okay, the direction of Mary and the object of her worship. Okay, where will we find it? Here. Okay, verse 6, now when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, Simon is the owner of the house, there came unto him a woman, a gate crusher, having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. Okay, look at this. There came unto him. Who is it that Mary of Bethany came for? It's Jesus. The problem is that we are looking and directing our action to other objects of worship. But Mary, she pointed it on the right direction. Okay, that's the first thing. Mary's devotion had direction. Next thing that we will find is that Mary's devotion has decision. I want you to look at this. Okay, I'll show you. Uh-huh. A woman having an alabaster jar, box here, let's use, of very precious ointment. Well, to give you a trivia about this is worth a 1 year wage. So if in that case, Mary of Bethany is having a wage of 2 silver coins per month, let's just say that's the case, she is earning it every month so that she will have something to give to Jesus. And that will need a lot of decision. Especially if you're on the 6th month, 7th month, 8th month, in the middle or near the end. And there's something that you need to use the money for. So, Mary's devotion has decision, a firm decision. And of course, if you will continue this, and poured it on his head. Just poured it. Okay. Now, that will be the second point. First is the direction of devotion. Second is the decision for the devotion. And third is the determination for the devotion. It is easy to say a promise, just like what I told with the message about Hannah, but to continue with the promise is another thing. It's another matter. Okay, I'll close this down and show you here. 26 verse 8. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, "To what purpose is this waste?" So, you're putting up an offering to God, and then out of a sudden, coming from the mouth of disciples are these lines. What would you feel? You may feel discouraged and leave the house, and that's it. But Mary still continued to do what she is doing. So, because of this, Jesus gave a reprimand unto the disciples. I'm highlighting this for you. Okay. The disciples continued and said, "For this ointment, the perfume, might have been sold for much and given to the poor." What a good excuse. But anyway, this excuse was given by Judas Iscariot, the treasurer of the disciples, who is usually picking something from the treasury. So, because of this, let's see what is the response here of Jesus Christ as it unfolds. I'll just pick it up. Okay. When Jesus understood it, he knew it. He said unto them, "Why trouble the woman? For she hath wrought a good work for me." So meaning, Mary of Bethany did a good job. Why? "You have the poor always with you, but you have me not all the time." Well, for one reason, because Jesus is going to be betrayed and crucified after a few days. Okay, now, verse 12, this is what I was saying. "For in that she had poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial." Okay, it could be seen that Mary of Bethany knew about this, although in a cloudy manner, but after hearing so much about the sayings of Jesus about this unto his disciples, maybe she's getting it one by one, little by little. Okay, what is the reward of Mary of Bethany? We will continue it here. Okay, we will continue it on the last verse, 26 verse 13. "Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel," the message of Christ, "will be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman, Mary of Bethany, had done, be told for a memorial for her. So everyone will know what Mary of Bethany did. That is what happened today. So let's see. After unfolding this, we will have a wrap up. Let's see it here. What makes a devotion unto God? First, it is made by a firm direction. The focus. If it is God, it is God. Okay? That is it. Okay, that's it. Now, next to that, it will be decided by a decision, an action plan on how to do your devotion in a biblical way. And of course, it will be tested by time, so you need to have the determination or will to stay in the devotion. Let me say this in a practical manner. Okay, before we became Christians, we prayed to so many other entities. Say if we are a believer of animism, we pray unto these little gods, gods of nature, and maybe other matters that pagans worship. But then, when we found Jesus, our direction of worship had shifted from those gods unto God. Okay, the direction, decision, or plan. We may have found it hard, but the point is this: we need to have an action plan of how to do our devotion. Okay, so going to church on Sundays, listening to audio messages of different preachers or your pastor or minister, or maybe more or less the best thing is prayer, something like that. Okay, determination. It will be tested. The best or the worst enemy that you will have is yourself or ourselves. Sometimes the circumstances will be used, but then the point is this: we need to be determined to continue what we are doing for the Lord. Okay, so I hope this gives a wrap up of what we will do in our devotion, just like what Mary of Bethany had done. Okay, so before I end, let me say a blessed day to all of us. And of course, don't forget to pray for the whole world. Okay, especially we have a COVID-19 case, and our frontliners, and of course what we will find out in the news. Okay, especially if there is a case of calamity along with the COVID-19. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to thank you and everyone else watching this message. Don't forget to like, follow, and share our Facebook page, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Alright, so God bless everyone, and I'm praying for a safe and strong health and spiritual strength for all of us. Goodbye.